Today I'm going to tell you about how I accidentally became a vintage coach reseller. I have been quietly reselling on Facebook Marketplace for 4-ish, 5 years, sometimes on Depop as well. Eventually I fell into doing vintage leather. I think leather is actually very sustainable if you care for it. It can last you 50 plus years. I just really enjoyed cleaning and conditioning and rehabbing and seeing those pieces come back to life. I started selling vintage Doc Martens specifically because I felt like they were a really high quality product. So I started calling myself Theleatherdoc because I cleaned up leather and I did a ton of Doc Martens. My sister started a flea market last year and she moved to a really large indoor space in October and asked me if I wanted to do a booth, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll do a booth. I filled it with my vintage leather goods, and I found that I did not have enough stuff for a 10 by 10 space because, again, I was not even close to a full-time reseller. I went to my personal Coach collection of bags that I never get to use because I have a toddler now, and I don't want to ruin them, and I priced them what I perceived to be a high price, thinking they weren't going to sell. My mom also has a very large vintage Coach collection and she was ready to get rid of it. So she brought all of her bags and we were absolutely shocked by the turnout for the market. We sold almost every single Coach bag and I wasn't expecting that. So little did I know that Coach was kind of having this renaissance. I mean, bags that I wouldn't have been able to sell for $30, I don't know, 4 years ago, we're selling for 200 plus now. So I was very out of the loop, but I realized that this was something that people were excited about. I had a really busy market I could sell at, and most importantly, it's something I knew a lot about. I know where and how to source Coach, and I know the bags that people are looking for, and I also have a pretty good sense of how to tell if a bag is real or fake. So for the next couple markets, I just kept buying more and more and investing more and more money into the business. I mean, pretty much all the money that I made, I just put back in to buy more Coach bags. You know, in January, I was selling hundreds of bags. I think between my mom and I, we sold almost 500 items, and I would say like 400 of those were Coach. And before the market, I was like, wow, I've really lost my mind. I have a basement full of Coach bags, and what's going to happen if nobody buys these bags? Like, what am I going to do if I get stuck with $10,000 worth of Coach inventory? And I just felt like, you know what, I can do this. And so I did. This whole thing was an accident. I have a full-time job. I'm actually a physician assistant and I have a toddler at home, but it just felt like a right place, right time sort of thing where I wanted to just take it and run with it. I really don't know what the future of the Theleatherdoc looks like because this is all completely new to me. So I'm excited to see what happens and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next for us.